Little brother says, Laurie just made the most salient point about lack of service to striker, and we just moved on. We need to address that. This season will be a drag. No, I remember this whole time I said Robbie brought something up. That was what I was going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
So let's quickly just talk about it then, because you said we need to find a way to work towards Gyokeres and his strengths. I disagree. I used to agree when he first arrived. I was like, we've got to build around the striker. But now we have so many signings with such top quality. I remember Thierry saying, when Haaland was at Man City and all the pundits were saying they need to work to play to his strengths and work how to get him involved in the game. Thierry said, which I agree with, as a striker, he's also has to adapt his game to work with the team. And I think now we've got so many good players. I think Gyokeres has to improve his game to work alongside how the team are playing instead of just being the guy that sits in the box.
Yeah, there has to be some compromise.
But no one's really saying that.
Stan Collymore once famously said, you can't bring a player into a team and have no idea how you're going to use him. I remember him saying that about one of his own transfers years ago. And it's true. Like, if you're bringing in Gyokeres, I'm sure the likes of Berta, Arteta, and various other people would have sat down and said, look, this is his strengths, this is how he best aligns with our team. So if you bring him into the team, especially like we've not had an established number 9 at the club now since Aubameyang left. So if you're bringing him in, surely you got to have a plan on how to get the best out of him.
Yeah, and
I think like just basics at the moment they're not doing. Like, you know, just play an early ball into him at least. When you see the guy making a run, like yesterday, there was one time, again, it was Martinelli, wasn't it? Just play the ball, bro. Like, I mean, there's simple balls. We're not even talking about, we've got enough creative players now in that team, and your Odegaards, and even just, I'm not even just on about like creative midfielders, just players. I looked around that team yesterday, like, there's so many good ball-playing, skillful players. Zubimendi, this, that. When you got a guy like Gyokeres, he wants the ball early.
Yeah, look up, bang.
He's not a skill guy. He's a bit like Haaland, isn't it? Where Haaland's not a guy who's gonna.
You say he's not a skilled guy, but that goal he got against Leeds was a very skilled.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, he's not a guy that's gonna pick the ball up, dribble past. That'd be more like an Isak, isn't it?
Yeah.
He would pick a ball up, dribble past two, then bang it. He's more a guy, get him on the end of more things, and he'll bang it.
But Cecil, you're shaking your head. Weren't you encouraged that he was able to score a goal like that?
Yeah, it's a striker.
Because he's not associated with scoring goals.
But he's not. I don't see him as a skillful player. He's pretty on the eye. He's not that sort of striker, in my opinion. I think.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, he scored the goal like that against Leeds. To me, that's a feather in his cap.
Yeah, that's a striker's finish. Fair, but I think he also needs to adapt his game a little bit in the sense that
adapt to what?
So yesterday, against Liverpool, Havertz, I know he's not available, would have been the right option because I think intelligent-wise in that game he would have found a space which I know frustrates people hearing, but in that game I thought Victor Gyokeres wasn't using his football intelligence at all. Konaté's biggest strength is physicality, right? He wanted to go and fight with him, but in my opinion, he lost a lot of that battles. If you're smart, an intelligent striker doesn't engage with that. He peels off and receives the ball away from Konaté and either brings another player or gets shots off. But you can say no, the ball didn't go to.
But the service has got to be there. But basically, the balls that they were playing to him, they're being played into him when Konaté's right next to him. So, I mean, the only way to get past it is to try and muscle way past.
You can move off the man.
You're then working to the strengths of the two centre halves. What ball did they play in behind for him to try and run onto or down a channel? For him
I saw
nothing.
He got
nothing at all.
I saw him run down the channel.
You've got to give.
And you can always tell when a striker's not getting no service, because they do what I call go looking for work.
Yeah, they go into, but I don't.
So he's going into spaces that you think, actually, you're dropping too deep there. You're running around chasing down man. We want you in the box. Yeah. To me, we're not playing to his strengths.
And then you get to the edge of the ball. If you get like down the byline edge of the ball, look for him. Get the ball into him early. Those little things, I don't think we're doing yet. I hope that we will.
I would be, as a manager, Turkish, I would be instructing my number 10 or my midfielders. When you look up, that should be your first option. Okay, if it's not on, don't do it. But that should be amongst your first option.
We barely ever
because he will make the runs. He will try and find a space. Use him, bro.
That's why it's more on the Arteta to adapt than it is Gyokeres.
No, I actually disagree.
Actually, you're right. I agree.
Because I asked you adapt to what, and you didn't answer that. Our attacker's been dead for 18 months, and you're asking a striker that's banged 100 goals to adapt to a dead attack. The attack needs to adapt to him.
Got you there, Cecil.
The attack needs to.
Got you there.
Like we've been dead. What's he gonna adapt to? Even if he comes, and let's say he becomes the back to goal striker. Yeah. Unless we're playing Nwaneri, because Nwaneri is the only attacking mid we have that will pass into a striker and follow that pass. Do you remember that brilliant goal we scored against whoever it was, where into Giroud into someone else, Wilshere Rosicky, back to Rosicky, he dinks it over. We don't do that central football no more.
Yeah, we don't play through.
What can Gyokeres adapt to?
You're right.
Though?
We don't play through the centre, but
what can he adapt to then? Because either it's behind the last man, get balls in behind as soon as possible, or play into him and play off him. They won't
play into him. They will not play him through the middle. So then
we're asking our striker to do things that
go out to the wide, which is obviously
Havertz. What the hell's Havertz going to do? Win a header by the throwing line for us?
No, but
3 times of
he would have peeled off from Konate, though, in my opinion, and picked up the ball and brought the other players into play. That's what he would have done. He wouldn't engage in the physical battle with Konate, because that was not working. But the one thing you're definitely right. We do not play through the middle. We do not play through the middle into him, but. That might be because Liverpool can cut out and passing patterns.
Got to, but he's also
we play around for the what?
But there's also playing out to the channels, playing a ball in behind, playing a ball early. Like, you know what I mean? Sometimes, we were holding on to the ball. We've done it in every game so far, where, you know what I mean, you see him, he does a run, and then he looks back, the player's still got the ball at his feet. They've not played him. That's what they're going to have to learn to adapt to his game, like Turkish says. I agree with that. You know what I mean? The guy's looking to do runs in behind early. Do it early, man. Like, we're holding on to that. Because that's how we've played in the past. And that's what we're going to have to... You're right. Arteta has to adapt the team.
Are they building to play for him then? Building around him? Is that what you're trying to say? He's got to build towards
if you've got a particular type of striker, you've got to play to his strengths.
Exactly.
So you want to build the team around...
Of course.
So why particular type of striker? You get some strikers, right? Say, for instance, you might get a striker, he's brilliant aerially. You hit balls into the box, man, so you could head them in. You get another guy, he's great at getting it at his feet and dribbling past guy. You get the ball into his feet, not up in the air. You know what I mean? We got to work to the guy's strengths.
It's interesting.
His strengths is play that into a channel, like what the goalie scored against Leeds. Play it in front of him early. Get him on the move, man. Get him, because he's like one of these strikers, he's an instinctive guy. Once he gets that, boom, you know what I mean, he'll get his shot off early, you know what I mean? We need to learn how to do that. It's only 3 games, and that's what we need to do.
So when Mika Marino was in the side scoring goals.
But Marino's a different type of player.
And he did what Havertz does.
Yeah, he's a different type of player, and he's Mika Marino's sort of like a box crasher midfielder anyway, so that's how a lot of his goals are scored, and he's good technically from edge of the box and stuff like that. But I'm saying with this guy, we've seen a lot of the goals he's scored play to his strengths.
The emphasis is on Arsenal playing to his strengths rather than the other way around. I do admit that I do agree with you. There should be some compromise. He's got to expand his game, course. But like we keep saying, you can't bring in a guy for that amount of money, that amount of expectation with the goals he scored, and not have a plan for him once he gets here. And at the moment with Arsenal, the service he's getting is nowhere near the level it should be.
Yeah. Although the one thing I would say, we've got to be a bit patient because this is game free. So, but that is something we're going to have to learn.
Let's do it. So, Mr.